Our movie starts right in the middle of the action. We see a witch on a boat holding her baby boy, and she was running away from someone who was chasing her. Suddenly, the mom's boat hits a rock in the water, and she wakes up finding herself on the shore with her son beside her. When she opens the wrapper he's wrapped in, we find out that the kid has one eye gone because of his grandfather. It turns out this kid's name is Kubo. After a while, when Kubo gets a bit older, he and his mom are living alone far away from his grandfather after his dad passed away, who we learn that his grandfather was the one who did that to his eye. Kubo goes to the nearby town, and there we see him telling stories and tales in his unique way, using his guitar and the magical origami paper he has. And all of this is to make money so he can spend it on himself and his mom. While he's telling stories, the sunset bell rings, so he quickly packs up his stuff and goes back to his mom, who was waiting for him to tell him about his dad. She tells him that his dad was a really great and strong warrior, and Kubo asks her about his grandfather. So she lets him know that his grandfather and her sisters are the ones who killed his dad. She tells him that he has to stay hidden from them and not be late coming back home at night, and that the limit is the sunset bell, and that he should keep wearing his dad's clothes and keep that wooden toy with him all the time. In the town the next day, an old lady he had talked to before tells him that at night there's a big festival where they set off fireworks, and through the festival and its rituals, they can talk to the spirits of the people they love who died. Kubo tries to connect with his dad's spirit, but he can't, and he stays like that until night comes without him noticing. With the night falling, two people come to him and ask him about what happened to his eye, and when he asks them who they are, they answer that they're his mom's sisters, and they've been looking for him for a long time and want a very small favor from him, which is that they want his other eye, because his grandfather, who took the first one when he was little, really needs the second one right now. Of course, as soon as Kubo hears this talk, he starts running to hide and get protection among the people who gathered for the spirit festival. But those two keep coming after him and don't care about the people, because it turns out they have great magical power they attack people with. They manage to keep chasing him and were about to reach him, but right then his mom steps in and fights them off with her magical abilities. But it's clear she won't be able to handle both of them, so she tells him that the armor is what will save him, and that he has to go look for the 3 pieces of the armor and find them. She runs her hand over the symbol on his clothes, so magical wings come out, and he flies away with them, while she stays behind and sacrifices herself, fighting off her sisters with magic so her son can escape. Kubo wakes up after a while in a place covered in snow, and he finds in front of him a female monkey with white fur like snow. She tells him they have no time to lose and that they have to escape fast, so she takes him with her and they walk until they go into a cave, sit down, and light a fire to warm up. The monkey talks to him and tells him that of course, right now, he has a million questions to ask her. Kubo first asks who she is, how she showed up for him, and how she knows him. She lets him know that she's the wooden charm or toy that was always with him, the one his mom used to tell him to keep with him and never leave behind. He asks her how she was a piece of wood, so she lets him know that his mom did that with her magic before she died, and that right now he has to find that armor because that's what will protect him from their magic. And as long as he's wearing the armor, they won't be able to take the second eye they want from him. Kubo finds 2 strands of his mom's hair on his shoulder, and the monkey wraps them around his hand and tells him to keep them with him all the time. Kubo asks her about the location of the armor, but she didn't know where it was. They sleep in their spot, and the next day, the monkey wakes him up and lets him know that he was calling out his dad's name while sleeping. And right then, a magical piece of paper came out from the ones in his bag and turned into the shape of that warrior who was standing and pointing out the road they're supposed to walk in. They actually get themselves ready and walk on the road the warrior pointed out to them. But someone appears who is watching them and suddenly grabs Kubo and runs away, with the monkey chasing after them. The monkey catches up with Kubo, and he stops her before she fights with the warrior who took him. He tells her that he didn't mean to kidnap him or anything. He just wanted the paper shaped like Hanzo. He lets her know that he's a warrior, but got cursed with a spell that made him forget everything that happened to him. The warrior sees the symbol on Kubo's clothes and realizes it's Hanzo's clothes. So he asks him if he's related to Hanzo, and Kubo lets him know that he's his father. And right then, the warrior gets super happy that he met his master's son. He bows to Kubo and tells him that from now on he'll be at his command, protect him, and even sacrifice his life for him. The monkey refuses at first, but when she sees the warrior's extraordinary skills, she agrees right away. The three of them continue their way to the place the paper warrior points them to, and they enter a cave where all three of them fall into a hole in the ground, only to find the sword right in front of them. The monkey stops Kubo because she was afraid it might be a trap for them, and the warrior goes to take the sword instead. When he actually pulls the sword, a giant skeleton monster comes out at them. The warrior tries to hit the monster with the sword, but it breaks, and they realize this isn't the real magical sword they're looking for. It turns out the real sword is stuck in the skeleton's skull. The monkey and the warrior keep holding on and shooting arrows at it, but the monster succeeds in grabbing the warrior and her as well. Right then, Kubo steps in, flies with his wings again, gets on top of the monster's head, and pulls the sword out of it, and as soon as he pulls it out, the monster dies. His friends get freed, and after that, they head out to continue their journey. They reach a wall when they find a lake in front of them that they're supposed to cross. The warrior offers to carry Kubo and cross through the water with him, but the monkey gets angry and tells him that since the matter is related to Kubo's safety, she's the only one who decides what they do. But while they're yelling at each other's faces, they find that Kubo used his guitar and his magical paper to make a boat for them to cross the water with. While they're in the middle of the lake, they reach the location of the second piece, which is the breastplate of the armor. The warrior gets ready to dive into the water to get it, but Kubo tells him that his mom told him about this lake and that down there are many eyes that if you look at them, you won't be able to come up from the water and they'll force you to stay below. The warrior tells him it's fine, he won't look at those eyes, and it's easy, and he dives into the water right away. They keep waiting for him for a long time, but he doesn't come up until the weather turns bad and the waves get really big. Kubo tells the monkey that the warrior definitely needs his help right now and jumps into the water to help him, so she fears for him and throws herself after him. But one of Kubo's aunts arrives and grabs the monkey before she can jump. Kubo reaches the armor piece and puts it on, and right then, the eyes appear. He stays stuck in the water, and because of that, the ship he made starts disappearing while the monkey was fighting off the witch. Right then, she understands that Kubo is in danger, and the warrior appears and helps the monkey fight the witch, then quickly dives down to save Kubo. The warrior keeps shooting the eyes with his arrows, saves Kubo, and brings him up from the water. They find that the monkey was able to resist the witch using the magical sword they had found. Kubo talks to the monkey and tells her that he saw the eyes and that they were his mom's spirit, but she tells him no and sits down to tell him his mom's story from the beginning. She lets him know that his grandfather, the Moon King, sent his daughters to fight and kill the warrior Hanzo, who is his dad, and that his mom was the first one of them to reach him. While fighting him, she saw love and care for her in his eyes, so they actually got married and had Kubo. But after that, the king finds out their location and sends her sisters after them to kill them. Kubo asks her why his grandfather doesn't love him, but she tells him that he does love him and even wants him to be his heir. But he first wants to take both of his eyes, so he doesn't empathize with anyone like his mom did. Kubo goes to sleep after that, and the warrior notices that the monkey is injured and asks her why she didn't tell Kubo that she's actually his mom. She lets him know that she's just magic that will disappear over time, and Kubo will end up alone again, and the warrior promises her that he'll look after Kubo and protect him. While Kubo is sleeping, he dreams of his grandfather showing him his dad's castle and seeing that the final piece of the armor is inside it, which he has to go get, and then he can claim his right to be the heir. Kubo wakes up, takes them, and they head to the castle, where they keep searching for the helmet but can't find it. His mom finds a piece of paper with the helmet's location written on it, and it turns out to be a trap set by his grandfather for them. One of Kubo's witch ants appears, grabs him, and tells Kubo's mom that the warrior with them is actually Hanzo, and that they cast a spell on him to change his appearance and make him forget all their memories together. The witch strikes Hanzo, sends him flying, and tries to take Kubo's eye, but he defends himself. Kubo's mom keeps fighting her sister, but she was weak because of her wound, and her sister was stronger than her. However, Hanzo wins that moment and manages to save them, but Kubo's mom was already dying and entrusts Kubo to Hanzo. But as they're talking, the witch shows up again and kills Hanzo. She tells Kubo to run away and go back home, but Kubo refuses, grabs his guitar, and manages to finish off the witch at the exact time when the monkey's magic runs out and she turns back into a piece of wood just like she was. Afterward, Kubo looks at the paper showing the third piece, the helmet, and realizes that it's actually the bell they ring at sunset in the town. He quickly goes to the helmet's location, takes it, and puts on the complete armor. Right then, his grandfather appears to him, trying to convince him to take his second eye and go up to the heavens with him to be his heir. But Kubo refuses, of course. His grandfather gets upset and turns into a giant monster, attacks Kubo, and snaps his guitar strings. Kubo uses his mom's hair that was tied on his hand, along with a strand of his own hair, plays the instrument again, and uses it to awaken the good spirits, who form a shield around him that his grandfather couldn't break through. They combine their strength with the magic of Kubo's guitar and free his grandfather from the evil spirit that was possessing him. His grandfather wakes up, not remembering what happened to him, and the townspeople gather around them. The old lady explains to his grandfather that his own strength and the magic of love are what freed him from the evil magic that only cared about power and authority. And with that, our story ends today after good triumphs once again over evil. Hope you liked the recap. If you reached the end, don't forget to leave a like on the video and write us a nice comment as you always do. And for those watching us for the first time, subscribe to the channel to see all the upcoming recaps. See you in the next movie. Peace.